Welcome to episode 29 of Overtime with Jared P. and Johnny O. All right, Johnny, hit us with our title sponsor. But before you do it, real quick, we're going to do basically a Power Five of the NBA, some ACC talk, have the Tar Heels turn it around, what's wrong with NC State, and more. Johnny?
You got it. Title sponsor, and we thank them very much. Estate Jewelry and Loan. Something old, something new. Estate Jewelry has a great selection of new and estate jewelry, and you can really find a unique piece for any occasion. Brian's showroom is beautiful and has lots to choose from. It's a very cool little local jewelry store over on Battleground Ave. He's got estate jewelry, diamonds, and watches. Check them out. Again, at 2511 Battleground Ave and also at estatejewelryloan.com. And Salsaritas, fresh Mexican grill, located in High Point at the Palladium and in Greensboro in the Target Shopping Center on New Garden Road. He's got the food truck, catering, daily specials. If you need anything at all, stop in at the restaurant or go to salsaritas.com, salsaritas.com.
Excellent. We love them. All right. So the Power Five, NBA Power Five, we're getting.
No, NCAA.
Oh, is that what you sent me?
Yeah.
Oh, I seriously prepared for NBA Power Five. I'm flexible. Go ahead. I'll let you start.
No. All right, I'll get started.
You're talking about the Lakers being second, so I thought I misread it. Sorry.
That's okay. No, we figure we'll talk a little college hoop here. It's starting. March Madness is here, man.
Yeah, you're right.
The new top 25 came out, and I started looking at it, and I'm like, man. We're at March 3rd or whatever it is. So my top 5 that I think can win it all. I'm going to start right from the top. Auburn. They're number one, and they've been number one basically all year long. I'm a huge Bruce Pearl fan. And as I mentioned these coaches, it kind of makes sense why I'm picking them because these are all, seasoned coaches for sure. And I think a lot of teams are missing out on a lot of the coaches that left over the last couple of years. But Auburn is my number one team that really should win it all if they stay healthy. Mm-hmm. My number 2 team that I think can win, and I am going in order of who I think will win it all or has a chance to win it all. I still love Alabama, another SEC team. Alabama is fun to watch. Their coach, Nate Oates, is doing a hell of a job for them. Now, they did just get beat by Tennessee on Saturday. I don't know if you caught that game at all. I caught the very end of it.
Oh, the buzzer beater? Yeah.
Oh, that buzzer beater. What a game. Oh, my gosh, it was fantastic. Tennessee beat Bama, but I still think Bama's got enough tools to possibly make a run and win it all. So I'm going to go them as my number 2 team to win it all. And then this one, I'd be stupid not to put them on the list, but I got to go with the Dukies as my 3rd pick. They're number 2 in the nation right now. Shire's doing a pretty good job, but I still don't really. Well, they're winning by 30 and 40 points over all these ACC teams. It's kind of crazy. And I know the ACC is just awful, but Duke's got to be pretty damn good to be winning by 30 and 40, and they've been putting up 100 points a few times too. So they're pretty primed. Kind of relaxed, so we'll see what happens during tournament season here, starting next week. But they do have a heck of a chance of winning it all, but they're not going to. I hope they don't.
Yeah.
Now, my 4th team. This might surprise you a little bit. The St. John's Red Storm.
That doesn't surprise me.
Led by Rick Pitino.
What a coach.
They played yesterday or on Sunday. He had a white suit on, man. I don't know. Did you see a highlight of it?
That dude's been mafia for a long time. That dude's the Godfather, man. I love it.
I love it. They are ready and primed, man. That guy's got that team playing fantastic. They got some big boys, and of course the portal. They all came and played for the Italian Stallion there, and he's got those guys really going. They just won the Big East. The Big East is supposedly down right now, but they're not. I mean, they only got like 3 or 4 teams in the top 25, but the Johnnies are doing fantastic. I'm really rooting for them to make some noise. I think that would be really good for college basketball.
Yeah.
And my number 5 team, never a big fan. My one of my favorite athletes went to this school, Magic Johnson, but the Michigan State is playing, Coach Izzo type basketball, and that's a team that could make a run. They're going to make a run through the Big Ten. They're having a hell of a year. They're number 8 in the country. They're big, strong, like they usually are. They run. He's got those guys playing really hard. That's my 5th team. I really think the Spartans of Michigan State have a hell of a chance of maybe making that 6 victory run and cutting down the nets. So that's what I got for my top 5. What do you got?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I've been looking more at recently, even though I got to when I thought we were talking about the NBA, but I've been looking more recently at these teams that what is their record against the top 25?
Well, all these teams?
I'm saying that's what I've been looking at.
Oh, yeah,
And so
absolutely.
Duke, I think, is the most overrated team in the country. They are in a soft conference that may only get 3 teams at this point
Yeah.
in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
And so, with that being said, I mean, would I be surprised? They're going to be a number 1 seed. So, them getting to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8 probably won't be too difficult, but they're not battle tested. They're 2-2 against the top 25.
Exactly.
And then I think they're 2-3 against in the USA coaches poll, but in the AP is 2-2. And that's concerning to me. A team that has a better record. Let me start at number 5. I put Duke at number 5.
Okay.
I mean, they do have the best player in college basketball. They have some shooters. They can put up points. And I do like to see when you are a better team than the rest team in your conference that you're winning by a lot.
Yeah, and they
And
are.
that's usually a good sign. They've only dropped a couple of games. That's also a good sign. Those are things that markers are usually champions. You have some outliers every once in a while, a team that loses 8 to 10 games or whatever. With that being said, so to me that's like an outlier. But they only lost a couple of games. So I don't believe in them. I don't think they'll win a national championship. I don't think that they will not make it to the Final Four. They've played in the ACC, which is normally the toughest conference, the worst of the Power 5 conferences this year.
100%. And you're right. What you're saying, you got to be battle tested throughout the season.
Right.
Are they that good? Maybe they are that good, but like you're saying, we don't know until they play multiple good top teams and hope they might not get to that point.
Right. And so that number 4, I have St. John's. I agree with
Oh,
you.
nice.
It's all about guard play. They have one? They have 1 loss, or they undefeated in their division. They and they are 3-1 against the AP top 25. They're 17-2 in conference. Conference isn't great. Only not terrible, but only one other ranked team, Marquette. But they do have UConn. UConn's not even ranked. How crazy is that?
Not even ranked, but they're tough.
Yeah, so I like their guard play. I think that's the key, as you know, in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, a Hall of Fame coach. What do they say? He's the only coach to take 5 different teams or with a winning record or NCAA tournament, top 20 or top 10.
He can coach. He sure does adjust, doesn't he? Over all the years, man.
Yeah,
Evolves.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. This is live. My daughter is supposed to get a ride home from her. This drives me crazy. Home from rehearsal, and she's like, "Where are you, Dad?" I'm like, every time. I'm like, I told you. Her best friend's in the play with her, lives 3 miles away, and it's like, hold on a second.
Yep.
Every time, dude.
And here we were bragging about our kids at lunch today, right?
And she's awesome, but it's like, hold on 1 second.
It wouldn't be right if you didn't get interrupted during this show,
I
man. I
know
mean,
it's so ridiculous. Like the whole day, it's like I plan to have just this is the time I can do it. I'll be totally fine. I told her yesterday. Reagan brings you home anyway. Hold on, kid.
well, I tell
Hey,
you what, life.
Eli, call Reagan right now and tell her that she needs to go get Ava from school, and I'll give her some money. I'm on a podcast, dude. Just help me out here. Okay, you can see he's no help. These kids. All right, number 4 is um,
Hey,
St. John's.
Johnny.
All right,
Yep.
number 3, I say Michigan State, and the reason I say
Okay.
Michigan State is that they're under the radar because they're really never a sexy team. They're play defense, rebounding, and everything. They are 6-1 against the AP top 25.
That's Tom Izzo basketball right there.
14-1 at home, although
Wow.
that won't matter in the tournament necessarily. But 14, they'll probably play close to home. Uh, 7-2 on the road, and look, they're number 8 in the country. They also have Michigan at 17, Maryland at 13th, Wisconsin 12th, and Purdue is 16th.
Yeah.
So or 18th. So I mean, that to me is impressive. I wouldn't be surprised. She probably have him at number 2, really.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So I Tom Izzo is always better in the tournament, and so he's going into the tournament already looking good. They'll probably lock up if they win the Big Ten. I can see them actually getting it. They get maybe slip in to get that 1 seed, but definitely a 2 seed. And so,
Yep.
I said back to Rick Pitino. Sorry, I got interrupted by my kids who don't help me with anything that I do. Uh, I got that thing here. Uh, yeah, is I said years ago when he got fired from Louisville,
Yeah.
or when he had the scandal, right,
Yep.
at the Italian restaurant with the affair and all that stuff. He's so mafia. I love it. I said Wake Forest should pick up the phone that day and hire him, and they didn't.
Yep.
And Wake Forest isn't going to make the tournament again this year. They're now in the first 4 out. And I like Wake Forest. I like their coach, but I'm a Carolina fan. But I thought for the ACC, Rick Pitino would get players in there. That'd be fun. But they didn't. They didn't want to look bad or whatever. And so St. John's like, we'll look bad. I mean, they waited some years, and he's been
Yeah.
other places. But anyway, back to that. So you're welcome. But at number 3, Michigan State, and they should be higher. Then at number 4, I like Tennessee. I like
You mean number
Tennessee.
2 at the
I'm
number
sorry, number
2
2.
spot?
I'm
Yep.
sorry, number 2. I like Tennessee. Uh,
Okay.
you know, 5 losses on the year. I wanted to put Houston in there, but Houston plays that slow down
Oh,
offense, and it just doesn't work in the tournament.
no,
You know,
it will. It will for a couple games. That
right,
defense and the slowdown, and they're tough and all that. But they're going to get outscored. I think. I don't like you're saying. Maybe they get past the Sweet 16, but I doubt it. You're right.
right, and then and if they get behind historically, they don't catch up. There's
Yep.
one of those, some of those teams you play in the NFL or college football that are heavy on the defense with little offense. Yeah, as long as they're in the lead, they're fine. But as soon as they get behind by 7 points, you're like, they're screwed. And then number 1, I agree. Auburn. Has the best roster in college basketball. They're in the
Yes.
best conference in college basketball this year. So I mean, that's to have be 27-2 in that conference. That's insane.
That's insane. That's playing some basketball, man.
And you've watched a lot of college basketball. It's a crapshoot. The tournament, anything can happen.
Sure.
But man, I would if they stay healthy. I mean, I remember Carolina played them a couple of years ago in the tournament in Carolina. I mean, they just punched us in the face, and they didn't
Hmm.
stop the entire game. They could make threes, play tough defense. I mean, they're in your face. And then I think one of their players got hurt after that, and so they didn't make it as far as people thought they would. But yeah, 15-1 in the SEC this year. That's really, really impressive. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, Auburn would be my odds-on favorite to win the tournament.
And I'm hoping they have the player of the year, Johnny Broom. I mean, that guy's a monster in there. I'm hoping he beats out Cooper Flag for player of the year because he
Oh
really
yeah,
has had one hell of a season. And he's played a little. He's been injured with an ankle situation the past couple of weeks and plays through it and still gets 18 and 12. So he's a
yeah.
stud. So,
So no,
but
I
man,
like
I
the
love Broom. you got the Bruce Pearls and the Rick Pittinos and coaches. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, that's
Absolutely.
going to be exciting. So
Well, and the thing is, all right, now I know we're getting to this real quick before we get into maybe Carolina, NC State. Um, I have some teams for. I have one team to watch for that you don't want to play in the NCAA tournament that nobody would see coming, or
who's
very
that?
few. That my BYU Cougars.
Oh my gosh, what a week they had a week or two ago. My
Yeah,
God.
they got a bunch of Mormon dudes on there that like to shoot threes,
Yep.
and they got other guys, and obviously they're well coached, but they're a team that in the tournament, if they get hot from three, which is their strength,
Yeah.
boy, that's the team you don't want to play. They're ranked, they're a top 25, but
Yeah.
they had quite a week, and I would not want to play them. By the way, Auburn 10-2 against the top 25.
I was just going to ask you that. I mean,
10-2,
10,
yeah,
10 and 2. I mean,
yeah,
and they're in that, like you said, they're SEC is supposed right now they got Joe Lenardi. He's got 13 SEC teams in the tournament, and they're 27 and 2 in that freaking conference. That team is real. I want them to come. I hope they are full strength all the way through the tournament because it would be nice to see the best team actually win the tournament.
absolutely. Yeah, you got so Auburn's number one in the SEC. They have in the country, but also from the SEC. Tennessee's number four. Florida's number five. Alabama's number seven.
Jeez.
This is like usually how the ACC is. And then you
Yep.
got Missouri at 15, Kentucky at 19. Although Kentucky, I think, is going to end the season not ranked. I think, but they're kind of falling off. But Texas A&M 22nd and Mississippi State is 25th. I mean, that's
Yes.
crazy. That's
Yep.
crazy.
That's
All
good
right.
stuff.
So
All right. Let's
hit our
before we go into
sponsors
our
up.
next segment, let me read off these nice sponsors we have.
All right.
Shank and Torrance Insurance, located in Greensboro, but they serve the entire Triad and state. Brian Torrance specializes in personal insurance, including auto, homeowners, and life insurance. Call Brian at 336-310-1320 for all your insurance needs. And then my man up north, Imperial Marketing Solutions, Jimmy the Snowman Snowburger. He gets so excited about our show. He's your commander buddy. He loves the
Yeah.
Commanders. He's calling me during that Tennessee and Alabama game saying, "Are you watching this? You got to talk about this during Monday, during the show." But he's got sale of equipment, sales of new reconditioned computer, IT hardware, reconditioned equal to brand spanking new. With a 3-year warranty, he gives out of state drop shipping and payment terms available. My man Jimmy Snow, 315-345-8349. Please give him a call. Buy a laptop off him. Tell him I sent you, and you will be very happy. And last but not least, very cool little business here, Live Hydration Spa. It's at livehydratonspa.com. Live Hydration Spa provides premier treatments for their clients to achieve optimal levels of health and wellness. The IV nutrition program has been proven to be one of the most effective ways to improve overall wellness, tailored to boost energy, hydration, improve circulation, decrease inflammation, and improve mental focus. Give them a call. Get in there for one of these IVs at 336-707-2796. And you can look them up at livehydratonspa.com.
All right, then Surf Hippie Fishing for all your fishing equipment and tournaments and gear. They have cool hats and shirts and everything. Surf Hippie Fishing, that's with a PH.com. They're all over social media. They actually have a really good Facebook page. There's lots of engagement. And then Elite Performance Chiropractic, our friend Jeremy Phillips, pro football player, he went from a smaller college to the pros. A pretty impressive story. And then he has a tremendous practice, and they get you back feeling better than ever with the state-of-the-art technology. So we appreciate them a lot. All right, so Carolina, let me start since I'm the Carolina fan on this one.
You got it.
I wrote off Hubert Davis after they lost. They didn't lose. They were down by 30 in the first half against Duke. I mean,
Yep.
and then followed it up, but with a 20-point loss at Clemson. And I'm thinking, this team just has quit. And then even players on the team were saying, the way we have North Carolina in the front of our jerseys, and the way we're playing, it's shameful. which I agree with. There was no continuity. You're when you're a fan of a team, you watch it, more closely.
Oh yeah,
There was no, like, what are we doing on offense? It seemed like it was dribble, 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 one on one, and then like some sort of heave with under 10 seconds to go. We play 4 guard lineup and never push the ball up the court or walking the ball up the court. I'm like, what are we doing? Not playing aggressive, not shooting free throws. Um, we do average one of the top scoring Power Five conference teams in the country, and that's improved recently, more of late, because we had a stretch of games where basically in the 60s. Um, and that's all changed. Now they haven't played a great team. They haven't played a good team. Actually, none of the teams they beat are really that. They're not tournament teams.
yep,
But they beat your Syracuse, and that kind of got things going
yep.
barely. So I still was like, no thanks. Then NC State, they just destroyed NC State.
Which we're going to talk about NC State in a second. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe the worst team I've ever seen in my life. But go ahead.
yeah. They beat NC State by 24,
Yep,
and it wasn't even that close. Then Virginia's down year. Man, they miss Bennett so much, Tony Bennett.
yeah.
But down year, but they're up 20 most of the game. Florida State's a tough team. They're well coached. They always have athletes, long defenders, athletes, but they handled that game pretty easily. And then Miami wasn't even a contest, and Miami, they're with their coaching situation as well. And so you got 88 points, 97 points, 81 points, 96 points, 92 points. Again, I know these aren't tournament teams, but they weren't doing this before. They
They
were in the
weren't.
60s and maybe low 70s.
Yep.
Uh, they are playing with a purpose. They're super aggressive now. I see them going to the basket a lot more. And guess what? Magically, it opens up the 3-point shot.
It does.
RJ Davis has been fairly consistent. He's had a down year from
He's
last year,
had a
but
down year. Yeah.
he's been more aggressive this year, or he's been looking for a shot more in this winning streak. But no, it's been a total team effort. They're actually playing hard on defense. They look like they want to play. Will it be enough? Right now, they're the first or second. They're in the first 4 out.
The first
Uh,
4 out right now. Yeah. But man, they're
5 in a row.
chomping at it.
Yeah,
You
6 out of
never
last
know.
7. Yeah,
Yeah. And Wake is the next 4 out after that. But Wake plays Duke this evening when we're taping this, and a
yeah.
win over Duke would probably put them in.
Oh,
I
they'd
mean,
be in. Yeah,
they need a win like that. But back to the Tar Heels, they have impressed me the last really since that Syracuse game,
yeah.
because they're putting up the points, and that's Tar Heel basketball.
Right,
But I found this kind of interesting. RJ Davis is having like a down year, but he's still pretty damn good. I mean,
right,
I'd like to have a down year like that. He's only averaging like 17 or 18, where he was in the
right.
20s before. And the funny thing is, I was watching, I forget who they were playing this past weekend, and they were just letting Elliot Cadeau shoot the three because he can't hit threes, I guess. I mean, they
Right. He's
were
not a good shooter.
leaving him wide open. So I looked it up. Elliot Cadeau is hitting 30% of his three pointers.
Which
Okay.
isn't horrible, but it's not good.
Right. 30 is, yeah. RJ Davis is 31%.
See,
I
and
couldn't
last year
believe that.
what
He
was
was
he
like
last year?
40. He was up in the mid 40s, I think,
Right.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your leading rebounder is Seth Trimble at 5 rebounds per game. That's what's going to kill you guys. You guys just, you're gonna if you get in the tournament, you're going to run into, one of these big teams like an Auburn or, whoever. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
them, Michigan State, or it's not going to be pretty. They're just going
No.
to put them away. But I give the Heels a lot of credit, man. They have definitely kicked it in. Hubert Davis, that it was a secret that he signed that new contract and all that.
Right.
Boy, I think he's safe for another year or two. So we'll see what happens.
Do you see today there was a anonymous ACC coach that said this is the worst Tar Heel team we'll ever play,
Oh,
and so
really?
he's saying he feels because they hired a GM. Actually,
Yep.
I think he's from the Triad, from High Point, or he went to High Point University, I believe. He's an attorney, and they're putting a whole new structure in, with a GM that's going to be in charge of NIL, and
Yep.
they're going to run it like a pro team. And they're like a year or two behind other schools.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, I don't think Duke has a GM, but Duke they paid Cooper Flag, in my understanding, he got a lot of NIL money to go there.
Yeah.
And so like it is, I don't love it, but it is what it is. So, stop fighting it. You're Carolina,
Just do it. You got to do
people
it.
aren't going to just go there. There will be some that will just go there, but if you want, we had two of the top 20 players that went to Carolina, Ian Jackson and Drake Powell, but they haven't had tremendous. Ian Jackson has had a good season. Drake Powell's kind of been a little bit slower, but yeah, get with the times. Like
But
Roy for a long time didn't want to do one and dones. It's like you got to, dude. It's the name of
yeah.
the game. And who adapted first? Coach K. He was like, I'll take a one and dones. Let's go. I want to win.
But you're right. I mean, and then all these other ACC teams, including my team, Syracuse, they're just down right now. For the
Yeah.
last couple of years. But what you just mentioned, the NIL, and you gotta adjust and do what you got to do.
Yep.
And they just came out with a $50 million fundraiser to get. Football did fine. We were incredible in football, but it's going to be for football and basketball a $50 million fundraiser from, of course, the alumni and this and that. But so that they're out ready to spend money. You have to. I mean, there's just no. Why would they go to Syracuse if they can go anywhere else? Why go to Carolina if you can get paid $4 million instead of $2 million? You got to take the money now.
Do you remember? You remember the number one draft or the number one prospect is going next year?
Where's it going?
BYU. He
Oh,
got
that's
like
right.
he got
I
like
forgot
$6
about
million
that.
dollars in NIL money, and so I thought he was a member of our church. So I was like, well, then we have a leg up because that
Yeah.
happens a lot at BYU. It's a church school, but then I looked, he's not.
Wow.
He did play. Now he did play high school basketball in Utah,
Yeah.
so he's in that area. But like everyone wanted him, and guess what? BYU, they have some. I think they have like an NBA, basically like an NBA type front office and connections with the owner of the Suns. I believe is a member of our church and at BYU, and all these different connections. And so, money talks,
It
because
does.
ain't no way choosing BYU 5 years ago over Duke, Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, Villanova,
It,
UConn. There's no way.
no, that
So in
guy's a
some ways,
stud.
yeah, it makes it exciting. In some
I
ways,
like it.
otherwise
I
it's
like
frustrating. But can you see this? Like Carolina is right now fourth in the ACC. They might finish third in the ACC and not make the tournament.
to go along with Wake Forest, who has a pretty good record,
Yeah,
but they're just getting, Lenardi sees that they're not beating anybody. So really, Wake and Carolina are right there to
yeah,
get into the tournament, and you know, but there's no room for error, man. If they
no,
lose, they're out. Ugh,
yeah.
crazy. And speaking of the tournament, do you remember NC State made it to the Final Four last year?
Doesn't that seem like 10 years ago?
I mean, the run that they did, through the ACC, and then makes it to the Final Four in the NCAA tournament was crazy. But
That was fun, a
what
fun run.
ha-
Yeah,
what happened? Kevin Keats, luckily, remember his job. If you remember, right before the
yeah,
ACC tournament, they wanted him out, and so he wins the ACC tournament. Then he's going out. He signs whatever extension, and now they're not even going to make the ACC tournament this year. I mean, that's crazy.
wow, yeah,
Yeah, yep, they're out. They're out. They miss DJ Burns, man, the big boy.
yeah, they do. Yeah,
So
NC State. I'm a Carolina fan. I like most Carolina fans. Believe it or not, we don't hate State fans. We find it annoying that you think that we're like rivals. We're not. I mean, we used to be in the '80s. When I was not. I mean, I was too young to enjoy that.
right.
But the ACC is better when NC State is good. It's more fun, and when Wake is good, when the Big Four in North Carolina are really good, that really makes the ACC. But yeah, you're 10-16, and you're 3-12 in a bad conference.
Oh,
It's a down year. Can you
that-
imagine if it was a normal year? Probably wouldn't have one win.
I
It's
know.
a,
Oh my God,
it's a,
exactly,
it's a
exactly.
bad team, and they're only
Hopefully that improves.
yeah. The only team worse is Miami, and that's kind of that was kind of a shock because they've been really solid under Larinaga, but he's out
Yeah,
now
they
too.
they just kind of gave up. And, Larinaga leaves halfway through the season. I mean, that's a tough situation for those guys. I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care who you are. Those are still young kids. 19, 20 years old. All of a sudden, your coach that you went there for is gone.
Right. Right. Yeah, and so
So,
NC State, yeah, none of the stats look good as a team. It's just, I mean, their leading scorer is averages 11 points a game. That's not going to get it done. you
Kevin
know.
Keats
So,
is Kevin Keats is very happy he signed that little contract at the end of
yes, he
last year,
did. Yes, he is.
man.
Oh,
But
Ava, did you get a ride home? Your friend that lives 3 miles away that you're supposed to take home every day because she's in the play. Never said that. Like you have to specify because there's also. I'm on the podcast. How dare you? You started it. I was just bragging about your lunch today with Johnny O. Hey, where are my fries? All right, well, let me finish with this podcast. Who ate all my fries? Somebody ate
all
all
right,
my
let's get on with
fries.
your
Ava,
Commanders.
I'm on the podcast. All right, the Commanders. Yeah, let's finish with that. So you're the Eagles. Look, best roster construction. Although I did see Darius Slay gone.
You know, I hate to see him go, but I mean, he was, and he's an outstanding. He was still outstanding all year long, but he was in and out of the lineup. He kept
Yeah,
getting hurt and this and that. 13 years, man. I think it was just time for, I think the Eagles are just going for something a little younger in there. But he
yeah.
gave the Eagles all he had. But real quick, and then I'm going to let you go on it. But so you guys picked up this guy named Tysham Raekwon Samuel. That's his real name.
Oh, is it? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
Tysham Raekwon Samuel, aka Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
That's a good pickup. I don't think it's a great pickup, but I think it's a very good pickup.
Well, what it costs is a fifth round pick is a great pickup.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to work out some sort of contract, but a fifth round pick. I mean, that's something. Yeah, he's 29.
yep,
So he could be coming on the downside, but I mean, he's the number one receiver for. Look, San Francisco had a bad season win loss wise, but I think I saw just the other day they ended the season like the third best offense as far as yards and production. And that's with Brock Purdy hurt in and out and the dysfunction. He didn't have. I'm not saying Debo had a great year by any stretch, but he was on a very high-powered offense, and he's going to another high-powered offense, and he's going to be the number two. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
You got Terry McLaurin and Debo Samuel. That's
No,
tough.
that's
Now, defense is our problem. I mean, the Eagles made the Chiefs look bad too, but defense is where we really struggle. We were the most improved defense last year because we were horrible the year before.
yeah,
And so
yeah,
the numbers, like if you say, oh, I saved 300% this month in my in my 401k or whatever or in my bank account, but it's like but the month before you saved zero, it's like
yeah.
misleading. So you save like $10. It seems like a lot percentage wise, but they were
Gotcha.
improved. I like, but they need pieces. And so
Yeah,
defense is where, and we have, I think, the third most cap room. So I think they're going to really focus on that in the free agency and in the draft.
yeah. No, if they, adding a piece like this, and then a couple, and hopefully, I'm hoping you don't get Miles Garrett, but
Yeah, I hope we do.
he's out there though. And couple real quick things to end it. Still not sure where Aaron Rodgers is going to go. I'm hearing the Giants now, which is a joke. And Sam Darnold, my prediction now is he's staying in. He's going to stay in Minnesota. He's got to.
Yeah, yeah, it'd be odd. I mean, and then Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I think it's a team that they're missing. I think he has to go to Pittsburgh. I think it's the only play. But then again, like Russell Wilson had a decent season, so I don't know. I mean, Russell Wilson's
Yeah,
younger too.
yeah.
I mean, you're
I mean,
getting
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers for one max 2 years, but really probably 1 year.
I think Rodgers was hoping Stafford was going to leave, and he
Yes.
wanted to go to L.A. and that didn't. That's too bad. It didn't work out for Mr. Aaron Rodgers once in a while here. But
Yeah, they.
who wants a 42-year-old quarterback? I'm sorry, man.
I mean, unless it's Tom Brady.
Yep,
Yeah.
It's done.
So
So, all
yeah.
right.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be praying for the Eagles to totally fall apart in the offseason. But
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
you got your ring. You got your ring. You've had a couple
Oh,
of
I'm
rings here in
sitting
the last.
pretty, man. I got bragging rights for a couple years anyway. So, but back to
Yeah.
back would be nice, but we'll see. We'll see. But
All righty. Well, you the man. Appreciate it, and follow us on everything. We're on all the social media apps. Obviously, Apple, all the streaming apps, Spotify, every major streaming platform. Also, you want to advertise with us? Hit up Johnny O or message us on social media. We'll get you on. You have quite the reach, and we give you get the bang for your buck for sure. Johnny's a salesman. You can tell I'm not. He's a salesman, but
yeah.
we appreciate it.
All right, man. Great show. We're out.
All right, homie.
Let's see. Where is it?